Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. Well, you guys, if you rock with me every Monday, you know how I do when I introduce my special guest. Well, I have to tell you a few things about my special guest, and only a few because she has a plethora of things that she's associated with, but we'll give you only three. So, first and foremost, she's an author. We'll find out more about that. Number two, she's an entrepreneur. And last but not least, she is a part of, well, actually, she's the CEO and founder of Periwinkle Group. And we can't wait to find out more about that. So, you guys, please put your hands together and welcome my special guest, Miss Jo.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the show today, and I can't wait to get into the weeds of things, to just talk about things. So thank you for having me, and I look forward to our conversation.
Oh, thank you so much, Joe Cato. I just so appreciate it. I always tell anybody that say yes to me, I say you could be doing anything on your Friday and you come and you spend time with me. So I appreciate you.
Right. You're welcome.
So let's get started. I always ask my guests this one particular question. What makes you tick? What makes you bored? What gets you going?
For me, what makes me tick is my resilience to get up if I'm knocked down, and it not necessarily mean it's a knockdown where it impacts your life in general, but whenever I experience some type of hurdle, or I'm working on a project and you run out of steam because it's so overwhelming. So things like that gives me the energy to say, you can do this, get up. This is just delayed, not denied. And so it's things like that that keeps me going. And of course, my family keeps me going as well.
I love that. Truthfully, I don't think anybody has ever just came on and said resilience and talk about hurdles because you're right. Sometimes we will run out of steam and we're like, okay, what do we need to do to keep it going, to get back or get to that last leg? And I love that you said that in family. We believe in family. I'm a big supporter of family. So I love that response.
But you know what I have done as well? I take power naps. And even if you are an entrepreneur and you work in an environment where you're at a job and you get that break, you get a 15-minute break, you can take a 5-minute power nap. And you can walk around the building for that 5 minutes. You'd be surprised how it rejuvenates you if you're feeling overwhelmed. So wherever you are in life, in your career, take that 5 minutes. You get 15. Take that 5 minutes and make that 5 minutes work. Even if you're on a smoke break, say you smoke, walk, not just stand there, walk. And you'd be surprised how it rejuvenates you to go back to do the next few hours of work. And I have always done that, and it works. Just try it. You'd be surprised that something simple as that works.
I know you're telling the truth and you're giving us some wisdom. I did have a project I was working on and I was getting antsy and frustrated and just like, oh, it's not working right. So I said, you know what? Stop. I went and just walked around for a minute, came back, and I had a total different perspective. I felt calmer. So we have to build in our breaks in whatever we do. And I think we will be successful faster because we take time to break.
Exactly. It's those little breaks that work.
Yes. Well, let's talk about, as I introduced you, I talked about you being the CEO and founder of Periwinkle Group. Let's talk about the impetus. How did it start? And just give me some information on things that you've done, people you've connected with, consulting groups you've completed because of this wonderful company that you own?
So thank you for that question. So Periwinkle Group is a multicultural marketing and brand engagement firm. So we started the company back in 2004, and I say we because at the time I started the company with my ex-husband and I. We have since divorced, so the company, as co-founder, I went on to be, the CEO of the company. Where Periwinkle is, and it will be 20 years, celebrate 20 years this year in August. So that's a milestone for a small business to um, be in business for 20 years. That's very tough,
Yeah, let's
and we can
pause
talk
for a
about
minute.
hurdles and things like that for encouragement for other entrepreneurs. But we have worked on some very exciting campaigns. We have had impactful campaigns in the community. During COVID, we were the multicultural outreach company of record for the state and the county, and we did campaigns to get people vaccinated or get tested for COVID. We have done campaigns with MGM, Yahoo. We've done mom and pop construction. So no project is too small for us. We try to, whenever we working on projects, whether it's large corporations or small business, we want to make sure that every piece of activation that we do is impactful and generates revenue for our clients. So I love what I do when it comes to community outreach and engagement, and that's our sweet spot to reach communities, and that's what we've been doing now for the past 19 years and a few months.
Wow, that's amazing. And let me give you a clap, clap, and say a big congratulations because we know it's no easy feat. 20, 19, almost 20 years, honey. That is amazing. Seriously, because we
Thank
know
you.
that typically it's 3 to 5 years. If am I correct for small businesses? And
Mhm.
usually they just let it go. So we know you, what you said at the beginning, resilience, you exhibit that, right?
Thank you. And we started in 2004. And if you remember in 2008, that's when we had that great recession, the mortgage issues, and everything just went haywire. So we were in our fourth year at that time, and we were able to overcome as a new business. So when COVID happened a few years ago, it was horrible for our country and the world in general. But we're like, we've been through this before. So we know not a pandemic, but we've been through market downturn before. So really, I call it crawling out of the situation wasn't as challenging as it was back in 2008.
Can I piggyback off of that? So you had 2008, you had your challenge. Here comes COVID. Do you believe because of the blueprint from 2007, 2008, you were well equipped with flexibility and looking at things in a different manner instead of just looking at things just tunnel vision head on?
I do believe so, and here's why. When 2008 happened, we weren't prepared for that. So what we did was we looked at other revenue generating uh, services that we could provide in an event something happens and we're not able to provide certain types of services because back then we had contracts, those contracts were placed on pause because nothing was happening. So it really, caused our business to be at a standstill. So because we added different type of revenue generating services, so we do advertising and other things, so we were able to hold on those services to keep us going while we were going through a pandemic. So for small business, I would always say you have one service that you're focused on, but make sure you add different things to that in an event something happens and you're not able to provide that particular service. You have two or three that you can pull on. So I always tell small business to do that. Look at the different revenue generating streams, and
Well,
that's
what
what helped us.
Well, what I'm hearing is diversify, diversify, diversify. And I do like that
Thank
you
you.
said focus on one main thing, but have other streams of income coming in.
Yes. Hmm.
But if you think about it, isn't that what the big corporations do as well?
That's exactly what they do. Exactly what they do. And if you look at a small business and you look right now, the 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 internet is a worldwide marketplace. There's so many things you can do from the comfort of your home right now on the internet. So just look for something that you have the strength to do, because there's a million things out there that you can do, right? And so just find something and do that and have that going while your main meats and potatoes for your business is operating. You have something else you can fall back
I love
on.
that. That's the wisdom that she gives. And you guys, I know her personally, and she's often giving wisdom, just it falls out of her mouth. So we thank you for that, Jim, because you're encouraging somebody that may be just focused tunnel vision. And there's nothing wrong with laser focus, but we also have to know that is other things that's coming on the side that we have to pay attention to, and you were able to capture it and just bring it and put it in a pretty bow for us. So
You're correct on that. Yes.
thank you. So, of course, I've told you I love music. I know you do too. We're going to talk about you
I do.
dancing, 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 honey. Yes, you a dancing machine. But I have a question. Can you identify a song that has blessed you, provided perspective, or oh, I went blank. Bless you, provided perspective, or what else? Oh, I can't believe my mind went blank. Or provided a lesson. So
I
blessing,
love the song "A Change Is Gonna Come." And I hum that song all the time. I be working and I'm like singing "A Change Gonna Come." And that's one of my songs. That's one of my all-time favorites. "A Change Is Gonna Come," because regardless of where you are and what is happening, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. I don't care what it is. There's always that light at the end of the tunnel. So if I keep laser focused thinking that the change is gonna come, this is just a temporary situation right here. So I love that song and I keep it embedded in my head when I'm going through challenges, even when I'm going through great, wonderful times. I keep that song. It resonates with me.
I like that. A change is going to come. And just think if we repeat that over and over and over again, it takes us faster to where we need to go. A change is going to come. I love that. Well, thank you for giving us that. Now, let's talk about your book. You're being an author. What was the impetus for you to say, you know what? I have something to say. I want to write a book. Can you give me some background and
I
information?
So I wrote the book in 2010, and I found myself over the years, I have been updating the same book. And how that book came about is that we're a marketing agency. And when the economy tanked back in 2008, a lot of small business, when they were on the verge of trying to come back, they didn't have the budgeted dollars to hire a marketing firm. So I came up, people would call me, Joe, can we take you to lunch? I need to pick your brains, and so on and so forth. And being the person that I am, we were struggling as well, but because these were already our clients and they just can't pay us, we just felt there's something we can do to help this community, right? So I wrote a book. It's Get Noticed, How to Reach and Retain Clients. And so it's a do-it-yourself marketing guide. So you build marketing campaigns. And in that book, we have different sectors. So if you are in the bar, you're a barber, you're a cosmetologist, you're a professional services firm. So we gave them they can go about and creating their own marketing campaign, creating their own press releases. So we put out that book, and it became an Amazon bestseller because people were buying that book because they're like, oh, we can do it ourselves, right? It even got nominated for NAACP Image Awards in the Do It Yourself category. While we did not win, it was it was for us as a small business being recognized that we're helping other small business with a do-it-yourself guide was tremendous for us, and we honed that as a success, as something happened because we were recognized um, for putting out that book. So over the years, with social media has gotten to where it is right now, we consistently add more to remove and add to the book. So in 2018, we revised the book and made it more, more digital content to help businesses that still can't hire a company, but they can use the book as a guide. And we're looking to transitioning that book to an audio book because people are doing audio right now and not a lot of reading. So that's something that we're working on right now. But we created that book as a self-help for small business to keep small business thriving during that time.
I like that one. I love that you said that, but it was a key factor in there that you mentioned. And I think this is why you have longevity from my perspective. You said something, you said these very words. We were struggling, but we still wanted to give back to small businesses. How many times you see business that when they're struggling, they are now pulling back and they're no longer giving? Because of your giving, I have a saying, because of your giving, you get back 10 times fold. And I believe that's a part of your sauce to your success for doing that.
I believe so as well because we always find the time in that 12-hour workday where we can, help another business. Because I feel that my job is if I'm at the top of my career right now, I have to be able to pull two or three people with me with the hopes that they themselves will pull two or three people. And I am really focused on women entrepreneurs because I just want us to rule the world. As Beyonce would say, girls, we run the world. And I know there's disparity there, but if we help each other, we can, in our own way, run things.
Yes.
And so for me, that is really something that I really am dedicated to doing.
Yeah, I know we had some conversations offline, you and I. I came to your office one day, and I'm not going to get into detail, but I was just kind of picking your brain and throwing some things out. And you just naturally said this and that. And I was like, wow, you are a plethora of information and you sincerely do that. Sometimes, and I'm not saying that people should give their time away, but sometimes just a little nugget helps and goes a long way.
It
So
does.
thank you.
It really does. Yes.
So let's get back into music that I always say has turned me all the way out. And let's talk about you because when I look at your Instagram, honey, somebody is always dancing, dancing, dancing. And I mean, you have a plethora. I love that you have rap. It sounds like you have R&B. You just from my perspective, it looked like you just enjoy the gamut of all kinds of music. So I say all this to say, when you were a child, your parents probably purchased music for you or had influence over what you purchased. But when you were able to purchase your own music without anybody influence, can you identify a song or an artist that you were like, I had to have it and you brought it?
Yes. So I grew up in Jamaica. And when I bought my first single, this was a reggae Grammy group in Jamaica. It's called Black Uhuru. And they had this song, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Ooh.
And that song was because we had just seen that movie. You know, they showed the movie in Jamaica, then we got with Sidney Poitier, and then they did the song. Guess who's coming to dinner? And I'm like, whenever I have money, that's the first single I bought. Guess who's coming to dinner? By the group Black Uhuru. Yes.
Do you remember a few of the lyrics of the song?
It said, guess who's coming to dinner? Natty dreadlocks, you know. So, you know, I appreciate the things you brought for me. Natty dreadlocks, you know, yeah, because if we're a big Rastafarian cultural country, and so it's like this person's coming to dinner, and who is coming? It's the dreadlocks guy is coming, and he's bringing food, and we appreciate what he brings for us. Yes. So that was one of my songs. It still is too.
Oh, that is wonderful. That's wonderful. We're gonna have to check it out. Can you say the name again? Because I want to hear the song. I may have
Black,
heard it.
yeah,
The,
it's Black Uhuru, Blackuhuru.
all right.
Black Uhuru, yeah. They're a Grammy. They're the first reggae band to win a Grammy back in the 80s.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
they're
check
still
them out.
performing to this day. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. We like to make sure the audience know exactly who it is. So thank you for that. Now, let's talk about you and your perspective. How long you've been here in Las Vegas?
I have been in Las Vegas now. This year, Christmas will be 30. I'm here over 3 decades.
Wow. So the
So I consider myself a quasi native because I've been here longer than a lot of other people. Yeah,
of
but I've
course.
seen the growth over the years. Yeah.
Of course. So can
Mhm.
you just give us a little bit of how you end up transitioning here to Vegas? Share a little bit of a story. What made you come to Vegas?
So I came to the U.S. back in the 80s to work for work. I just didn't like the work that what we got here to do, and so I visited Vegas, loved the place, and I was like, I'm gonna make this my home. And so I went back home, told my family, and then I came back to the United States and Vegas and just never left. But Vegas back then was really a challenge, especially with an accent from someplace else and finding, starting a career. So I took a job at the Lady Luck. If you remember the Lady Luck Casino, I was a maid. So I did housekeeping. Yeah.
Really?
Social engineers, but we were maids, you know. And so I
Yes.
took a job as a maid. Yeah. So that's where it really started.
So,
Yeah.
what's your perspective being here for over 30 years? Like you said, you have the insight that maybe people that's been here 3 to 10 years do not have. What do you think is the key to Vegas' continual success, and what do you see us in the future?
I know for Vegas, because it's a transient town, I would say have patience, build great relationships because this city is built on relationships. Get involved in community service because you'd be surprised to know how these community service and volunteerism that the people that you meet along the way can impact your life. So if you're just in town and you're trying to figure out your way and it looks like it's really dark, just stay the course. I would say get involved, create great friendships, and stay the course and find yourself a church. I would say
Yes.
whatever your denomination is, just find you a house of worship, and you'd be surprised. So that helps to strengthen you along the way.
What do you think about the future of Las Vegas? How do you see it going? Because, right now we're like the sports mecca. Not we continue to be the entertainment capital of the world, but it seems like sports are taking over. We have USC, we have football, we have baseball, we have soccer, we have hockey, we have wrestling. I can go on and on and on. What do you see for the future of Las Vegas from your perspective?
I see Las Vegas is going to continue to boom. I don't know where we're going to get land for. We're probably going to have to climb the mountains, but along the demolished part of the mountains. But there's no better place to go but up.
Yes.
We're going to continue to boom. We're going to continue to generate millions and millions of dollars. We're going to continue to create great lives for the residents here. We just have to make sure that we have our leadership is strong, that can navigate the city in a positive light going forward. So we just have to be involved. But there's no place else but up for us in Vegas.
Touche, touche, my dear. So, as a child, I've sung some songs, and I mean, I was getting it and I was dancing, I was having a good time. And all of a sudden, years later, when I become an adult, I was like, wait 1 minute. That's not what I thought that song was about. Can you identify a song that you sung as a child and you became an adult and you're like, wait a minute, I've been singing that?
Well, for me, it was because I grew up in the village, and so in Jamaica, the Blue Mountains of Jamaica, and so that's where the coffee is from. So I know my grandma. We always went to church. We always. That's one thing. Vacation Bible School, church, Tuesday, Thursday. I mean everything. So that's part of our culture, and I love Amazing Grace,
Mm.
right? So I would sing Amazing Grace, how sweet thou art. And then when I grew up and actually saw the words, I was like, what was I singing all this time, right? I was like, Amazing Grace, how sweet thou art, that saves a wretch like me. And I was like, once I was lost, now I'm found. I'm not blind, but I can see. It's not blind. I was blind. So I was like, oh, okay. That's what we were saying. But we said all through life growing up, and we were saying the wrong words, you know? We were singing the wrong words.
Yes.
I was like, I didn't know the words. I didn't actually see the words on paper until like I was maybe 15 or 16. I was like, whoa.
Did it also, because you were able to see the words on paper, did it have a different meaning to a certain extent?
It gave me deeper insights as to what the words were actually saying. Because it was like a sing along for us. Okay, we're gonna sing Amazing Grace now, so we know it's Amazing Grace. We're going to sing. But then when I saw the actual words, I was like, oh, deeper. It was so deep,
Yes.
you know. And so yeah, it did.
Wow. Well, the love of music, you just never know what you, and sometimes we hear songs and we hear the next person singing it and we acclimated to that. And then we actually realize the words, it sounds similar, but it's not actually
But
that.
it's not even in now music. I'll be in my car, my daughter will be sitting in the car with me, and I'm singing, and she's like, "Mom, you really don't want to sing that. That's not what they're saying." And I'm like, "They're not." And then she plays it on her phone because I'm listening to the radio version. And I'm like, "Oh no, I don't need to be singing that." But then I'll say, "Oh, that's a nice beat." She says, "Yeah, you can rock to the beat, but don't try singing it."
Well, she was keeping you together. Yes. I mean, I'm guilty of that too. I definitely am. It's times I've heard a song, I'm like, oh, I like the beat. And like you said, once you hear the real version, not the radio version, you're like, oh, I didn't know
Like,
that.
oh my, it's a little rough.
Yeah, definitely that. Definitely that. So let's talk about you dancing. We hinted a little bit. Where does your love for dancing come in? Was this a childhood thing, or you just always gravitate to dancing? I feel like that's your thing.
It is my thing. It's very therapeutic for me because I listen to the rhythm. It doesn't matter what genre of music it is. I just listen not to the words but to the rhythm. and I move to the rhythm. So even if I call it a jig and I jig for like 2 minutes, because usually I'm 2, 3 minutes into a song, but I will move to that beat and create my own way of interpretation of what that beat is about. If it's the African drums, I'll gyrate one way. If it's Beyonce, it's a whole nother move, right? And if it's, say, a Tank or a Brian McKnight, it's a different move. If it's reggae, it takes it to a whole nother level. So I just use the rhythm to as a therapeutic way of keeping balance for
Ooh.
me. Yes,
I-
because I can sit in my chair and I'll be hearing something and I just move gently. And if it hits me, I'll get up and I'll. In my office, I do that. I do, you know. And this is what my staff will say, oh, there she goes again. I didn't know that. So yeah, so it's very therapeutic.
yeah.
Just the different sounds, the blend of the sounds. You don't have to know the words, just that rhythm.
Yes.
It's very
I
therapeutic
love
for
it.
me.
I love how
Hmm.
you said it's therapeutic. And when I was looking at your Instagram, you can tell you enjoy it. Like your energy is vibrating at a high level and you can see the big smile and it just, and not to mention that you're always fabulously dressed and you still boogie on down, honey.
Thank you, thank you. I
This
try.
this is Miss Diva Diva. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
and at the end of the day, what brings you, where do you get this? I mean, it's like bigger than life. The dresses that you would think you were on a Grammy runway or you're going to a gala. Where do you get the inspiration or the fashion sense? How long have you been a part of that, just energy of that?
So, fashion for me was always something that I really liked. And the older I got, I started looking at different cultures, right? So, a few years back, maybe 10 years, I was just so tired and kind of burnt out. And my girlfriend, my sister friend, my said, she's Nigerian, and she's like, come home with me. Because I said, I just got back from Jamaica. And she says, no, come to Nigeria with me. And so I went on that journey. And it was a soulful journey. It took me to a place of the motherland. And it was like self discovery. And then I started looking around at the fashion. I mean, it's not like what I saw on television. I was looking at the fashion. I mean, these are some runway things. And so it heightened my sense of fashion. So I started looking at fashion things that I love to wear and incorporating a blend of my Jamaican culture, the newfound African culture, and just starting putting fashion that way. I found a tailor that was able to interpret what I liked. So I started going customs because when I calculated the dollars, it made sense to do that. And so that's where my heightened sense of sport came into play. And so from there, then, and it's been maybe over 10 years now that my sense of fashion has really heightened right
Well, I tell you what, it's been such a variety, whether it's the African garb or it's look like you're going to the Emmys. It's been such a, I'm like, what does Miss Jill Cato have today? Like I'm always checking you out and you do it. It's uniquely you. I can't see anybody else putting on what you have on or try to duplicate that. It's uniquely you. And I say that with all respect.
now. Right, that's correct. Yeah, it's uniquely me, and I try to embody my shape but in a very classic way. You won't see me having general reveals. I don't wear that type of clothing. If you wear that, good for you. But for me, I just want to maintain classy, sophisticated, on a budget. right? That's important. And just be, say, oh, we like that. Or that does not suit you because I've gotten some of those. And I was like, okay, let me readjust. So I take criticism well. And so, yeah, but I just love fashion.
Yeah, well, it shows on many, many occasions that I had the opportunity to interact with you or have be at an event, no matter what. And let me tell you, you guys, she always has. It's always something different. I've never seen you with anything that is exactly the same. Nothing. Sometimes I have to look up. I can look at. I'm like, oh, that's Joe Cato. Had no idea. So I think you're a chameleon. Am I the only one that's ever told you that?
No, my boyfriend says to me, do you wear the same thing twice? I said, yes, I just know how to recycle them well.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
that's what
do.
it
I know
is.
how to recycle them well. Yes.
Well, you know what? That's a gift. So we're going to give you a hand for that. So let's talk about, we talked about resilience at the beginning. We talked about you saying that it's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Hmm.
Can you identify a song that is your tap in song? And what I mean by this, sometimes we get low and there's no one around. Your husband's not around, your children's not around, your good girlfriend that can pull you up, she's not around. What song can you put on to pull you up to take you to that next level?
Because I'm happy, Pharrell Williams. Because I'm happy. That's my tapping song. The
Oh,
beat, right? The infectious beat, the clarity, the chorus. Come along if you feel, happiness is, because I'm happy. That's my song. That's my tapping song. You can move your shoulders, and I'm moving my shoulders right now. You can move your shoulders, whatever you're going through. That song, it's like on replay. It's my tapping song.
I love
Yes.
it. I love that. And I think you're the first one that has brought up Pharrell's happy song. I love that.
Hmm.
And you make me think, I think this was the second year of the pandemic. We had to, well, we were asked to do career day, but we couldn't do it in person and we had to record a video. And I was trying to find some music for the background, and I actually did Pharrell happy music for the background. And it just helped me because it was no one there to record the video and be engaged in the video. So I love that song because I'm happy. I'm gonna put that on.
Yes. Because I'm happy, come along if you feel like, Yes,
Yes.
it's a good song. It's a really good song.
Yes, and I think I remember when it came out, it just went over and over and over again. It was like a wave.
It was. It was. And even if you're somewhere right now and you're having dinner and there's piped in music in a restaurant and you're eating and you hear happy, you just want to move your shoulders a little bit, You're not going to go all out, but you're just like, oh, happiness. And you probably hum something along in between. Yeah, that song does that too.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's my tapping song.
That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. So before I have a couple more questions, then we're going to get out of here. I think it's very important. You have lived your life through your perspective, through your experience. Can you share some words of wisdom that either you've learned from your parents, you've learned from working in your business, or from your foe? Sometimes your enemies can give you a perspective that you're like, I see things different. Can you share a perspective with the audience that has changed you or given you a different outlook on life?
For me, as a Black woman, for me and a Black entrepreneur that's navigating, tumultuous waters at times, I always say you are enough just as you are.
Mm,
So don't try to be someone else, okay? You can emulate some of their characteristics, but never change who you are. You are enough as
mm.
you are. And you work on yourself to be the best that you can be and not the best that someone else wants you to be, right? You don't need to validate yourself to anyone, right? Whatever you do, make sure you're doing it for you, and you are enough just as you are.
I love that. I think you can't get any better than that. I always talk about on this platform, start with you, take care of you. That's another added part. You are enough. You all of those things have to be a part of you so you can exhibit and go out and do what you need to do. So I love that you said you are enough and you are.
Self love, self acceptance is important.
Yes,
It's
yes.
very important. Yes.
Wow. Where did you learn that from? Was it your mother? Was it your grandmother? Or you just think naturally that's just who you are?
I think naturally it's who I am because, during my lifetime, you would see people on television, you would see people out in the community, and you'd be like, I want to be just like her, right? And then you're seeing them moving, and you're like, oh my gosh, your pace is not as fast as their pace. Then you step back. I had to step back and say, but I am just as good. Let me work on me. Let me build me. Yes, I love what Jane Doe is doing. I could do that too, but let me do it in my own way. So I'm not chasing someone else. And
Yes.
I had to develop self acceptance for who I am. I have failed, but then when you fail, how do you yourself and move to the next level? You
Yes.
know, and so you got to do that self love. And
Yes.
trust me, I had to do that with myself for me to be able to take the next step.
Words of wisdom. She talking to the people in the back pew. So I hope they're hearing what she said about that self-love.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
before we get out of here, I have one last question. It's pertaining to music, and it is high elevation. For example,
Mm.
if you're at a restaurant and you hear somebody saying, Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to you. Usually the group of people join in. You don't know them, but they wish you happy birthday. It's just like an energetic combination of everybody, together. I say all of that to say it's high elevation. Can you identify a song that has high elevation that you either participated in or you saw a group participate in, but you still got that high elevation energy? Sometimes when you watch people, you like, oh, they having a good time. Can you identify a song?
Yes, Whitney Houston. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Everything you do now, baby. And everybody starts singing it. I don't care where you are, you hear that, Whitney Houston, you just start in a restaurant. I don't care where you are, in the elevator, you're walking up the stairs, you're in the casino, just walking around. Yes, that's the song for me. I belt it out. I have to belt it out. Eating, fork goes down, swallow, gulp. I'm everywhere. And men sing it too.
Yes. Good
Because
point.
they
Good.
like that song. Yes. So for
It's
me,
true.
that's that song.
That's a
Yeah,
good
it's strength,
one.
resilience, and versatility. So,
Yes.
yes.
That's a good one. And
Mm-hmm.
it goes back in play. You say you believe in women entrepreneurs and elevating them. So that's a great theme song. I'm every woman. It's all in
Every
you.
woman.
And
Yes.
it really is true.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, I would love for you to share anything that you're working on, any upcoming events, any initiatives you're working on, because I know you're always doing something behind or in front of the scene. So if you can share, and also with that, provide your any social media handles that you have as well.
outside of my professional work, I have been working for the past couple of months in curating a women's retreat to Africa. So I'm putting the nuts and bolts together because I've been there so many times, and I've seen the spiritual, the entrepreneurial, the discovery that happened to me and has happened to other people that have gone on this journey. And so right now I am looking at curating a entrepreneur's trip to entrepreneur trip to Nigeria in 2025, and then Ghana early 2025, then late 2025 to Ghana. So that's what I'm working on right now. I didn't realize it would be so much work to do, but I'm curating that in between my, tasks at work. But this means a lot to me, so I'm doing that right now.
I think that's
So more to
amazing.
come. More to
Well,
come.
please keep us in touch with that. And do you have also, if anybody want to get in contact with you, because you're also a business consultant for your company, also any social media handles that you have that you would like to share with anyone, would you like to give that?
Sure, I'm on Instagram. I just got on TikTok, but that's a whole zoo over there. But I just got on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and it's Joe Cato. It's my name, Joe Cato, and I'm on LinkedIn as well, Joe Cato. So reach out to me.
And one last thing, do you have anything with business consulting? Do you still do business consulting for small and
I
large
still do
business?
business consulting. So if you are an aspiring entrepreneur or a current entrepreneur and you would like to get some business advice, whatever services, we offer several types of services. So just reach out to us. We're a marketing firm, multicultural marketing firm. So reach out to us. It's Joe Cato. You can call us at the office at 702 900 1489 and just give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to help you or direct you in the direction that you need to go for whatever you're trying to accomplish. But we're here to help. We're always here to help.
Amazing. Well, my dear, I just appreciate you so much. I appreciate your time. I've had a wonderful time to get to know you a little bit more based on your music selections
I had
too.
a great time as well.
Thank you. And, I always give this one spiel before I get out. I talk about the journey and the destination. The journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. I believe in celebration. I know you do believe in celebration, but we have to have those moments where we celebrate. But when it's all said and done, we got to get back into that journey so we can continue to learn, continue to grow, so we can get to the next elevated level. So I say all that to say, with my men, I salute them. With my women, I bow. So I bow to you, beautiful lady. And with that being said, I always give my guests the last word. So last word go to you.
Thank you for having me. This was a great conversation. I look forward to coming back in the near future to have the conversation. And to your listeners, thank you for listening, and thank you for viewing, and be good and always be kind to each other.
Woo! So wonderful. And I can't wait when you have more information about your trip to Africa. Please come on so you can share all that detail with my audience. And it may be plenty of people that want to get on and go with you guys. So thank you. And you guys, please. Thank you. And you guys, please put your hands together and thank my beautiful friend, Miss Jo. Thank you so much. And as I say to all my people, I'll see you in these Las Vegas streets. Thank you. Bye-bye.